I used to say this happened 5 years ago, this happened 10 years ago. Now I say this happened last week, this happened 2 weeks ago, because it's getting worse. We had a global methane pledge in 2020. Well, what's happened? Well, methane emissions have gone up 5% since the methane pledge.
In collaboration with the United Nations Environment Programme's hosted Climate and Clean Air Coalition, we have a very special daily focus on this year on super pollutants and especially on methane.
Not only are these non-CO2 super pollutants potent and causing over half of today's climate change, but they're also the fastest way to get at cooling the planet.
Methane is a key lever for us. It's probably the best, maybe the only bet that we have to put us on a 1.5 pathway.
We Don't Have Time has been an extraordinary source of both inspiration and information.
That we're running out of time to stay within the carbon budget. But there is an additional budget, which is the non-CO2 gases, which are also causing havoc by emphasizing or accelerating warming, and this is what we need to also recognize as point of urgency.
Ingmar, so you would like to see a Montreal Protocol for super pollutants. Why?
In 1987, 46 nations agreed to start phasing out freons that were hurting the ozone layer. And they agreed on this. It was legally binding, and they had a phase-out plan. And now 200 countries have signed the Montreal Protocol, and the ozone layer are actually healing.
We can actually reverse global warming with up to 0.5 degrees.
I agree with Ingmar. I think it's a good suggestion. The Montreal Protocol is a policy diffusion example. It's a successful, legally binding global framework where a minority of countries in the world had a phase-out plan, and that spilled over to all the countries in the world.
Each one of these columns here is a large polluting source. You can click on every single source in the entire world with Climate Trace.
That is very important for us as well as a country to say that we have to be able to regulate methane at source.
And so one of the announcements that the summit will have is the $60 million that we have provided along with Bezos Earth Fund and Gates Foundation to reduce emissions with breakthrough technologies on livestock through methane vaccines, feed additives, or improved genomics, selecting animals that have lower methane emissions.
We Don't Have Time as a fantastic platform because it reaches out to many, many other people that we usually don't reach. We have built up a lot of momentum with our over 90 country partners, with our over 90 non-state partners, and then this community. But we need to get out to the world to really make sure that everybody has this topic on the radar. This platform is really fantastic to do that. It comes with a bit of a chatty angle to it, and that means it's maybe a little less serious in terms of approaching it, but obviously the topic is very serious nevertheless.
But what is your comment on that these countries has agreed to do this pledge today?
It's a pledge, it's a promise. Obviously, we need to see it changed into action and real action.
But the meeting will never solve anything. The people will do. If we don't see the crisis in the eye, we will not do what it takes. We don't need to start with 200 countries. We just need to start with all the countries that already have agreed on pledging to do it. So the Montreal Protocol, something similar, go from pledges to legal binding agreements.
So over and out from Baku, and thank you very much for joining and watching. Bye-bye.
at COP30 Brazil.